the beautiful time of the year. Beautiful time of the year. Should you stop your bad habits forever? This is something very interesting that we're gonna talk about today. And I included this in the part of Extreme Reset series. It's because I think it's pretty much very important for you to know because there will be times when you fall back into bad habits, when you not get the urge to, or when you feel like doing it. Because part of the reason is like you've just been improving your life for a few months. Like, when have you been improving your life? For some couple of months, hardly a year. And then when you have been training yourself your whole life to do your bad habits, it may be playing video games and all of that, the identity of you as a video gamer is synced deep inside you, more than that of a person who improves himself. So it's gonna be normal for us to fall back again, but which is why over time we want to quit it at the same time. Shout out to my last live stream about quitting bad habits. Let's talk about bad habits in this series, which is something I'm proud of in a good way because I've literally broken down everything that I needed to know to quit bad habits, and also especially specifically for fapping. That would be my full guide video. I'm sure you guys have already watched that if you're watching this live stream, which is why I'm just like quickly talking about it. First, figure out what you are grateful for today, the two things that you are grateful for. You know what, today I actually won a lottery, I guess, spinning wheel shit. Actually, it was because we played football, okay, soccer. Football in India, we call it football. In the Americans, they call it soccer. I don't know. Okay, we played football in the turf, and then we had this like registration where we enter our name, and then I played football with my cousins. It was a very good time, very like high energetic flow state time with like team spirit and all of that shit. Very competitive. We played football for an hour and then we went home. There was this lottery going on where every week there is one winner in that particular playground, okay, turf. So this week it was me. So I was like at my room, right, and then I was kind of like with my cousins. We just had our food. It's Christmas, we're celebrating and all that. Suddenly I had a call from my other cousin brother. He's like, yeah, calling me to come outside near the road so that he can pick me up and shit, so that we can go out together to the football field that we played like some couple of days ago. So I said, yeah, fine, if there's like a work to do, sure. And like I went, and then I asked him what this was about, and he told that I won something. And it actually turns out I won the lottery or some shit. I didn't even know this was happening at the first place. This was just like a surprise lottery. And so they gave me four jerseys to pick. Okay, so I picked the one with the Portugal because again, like I didn't know, I didn't expect this Portugal because it was very quick and intense. So kind of like Cristiano Ronaldo as a kid. When I was playing football, always like looked up to him and all of that. Cristiano Ronaldo. Now he does this sweet thingy. Okay, that is what I'm grateful for. Let me just write that down. Like I'm writing here. So that is mine. You keep that in mind. Keep yours in mind. Now the second thing that you're grateful for, for me, the second thing is like I'm grateful for the sleep I had last night. It was kind of like no alarm. I slept for 9 hours and 30 minutes, which is like the first day in this experiment, the day one of this experiment of figuring out our sleep requirements. So hopefully you got yours by now, the first data. Just keep that in mind. So mine is like 9 hours and 30 minutes sleep last night. So I'm just gonna keep that in mind. After some 4 days, I'll have like 5 solid records after the end of this year 2023. And so by that time, I'll know my sleep requirement every single night, and so that I can target that and base my sleep routine according to that. Very good habit that you can do every single day, which is what we are doing recently. Good shit. How can I be better today? You know what? Yeah, I can be better. I can be better by checking in my old journals every single night before I go to bed. So, there's this huge urge to watch contents when I'm going to bed, especially those self improvement ones. And I'm like, yeah, I could watch that, I could read a book, but it's like when you read your journal without using your phone to read an ebook, when you read your journal, that is the way to go, especially if it's like a journal that really almost like changed your mindset. When you're going to bed, maybe an old journal of yours that you have written. Probably you have written some by now because like you've been doing this shit for 24 days. So we're gonna talk about should you do your bad habits again? Again, it's like let me explain to you this. There are three stages. The first stages is like pure down bad stage where you're doing those bad habits. You don't want to do it, but you're still doing it. And the second stage is like, yeah, you're getting there, you're getting the momentum, you are finally trying to quit those bad habits, you're getting that momentum, but it's a struggle because it's not natural. You're putting effort to quit bad habits. It's like essentially those no fab day 0 to day 30, day 60 and all that shit. And the third stage of quitting a bad habit is when you actually don't need to try anymore because you become the person who doesn't do the bad habit at the first place, which is a beautiful place to go to. And most of us aren't there just yet. I mean, I'm there with fapping, I'm there with like no fap, I mean to say, quitting fapping essentially. I'm there with playing video games, I'm there with eating junk food, I'm there with all of those bad habits that I used to do back then. And it's a beautiful stage to get into, which takes time, of course, because when you get into this stage, you can almost become like a monk lifestyle where you don't you don't get controlled by the bad habits, but you control those bad habits. Because for a very long time you never wanted to quit that bad habit because of the bad habit itself. You hated to get controlled by it. You get this impulse to jerk off after you see a hot girl on Instagram, and then suddenly you are ending up to jerking off. You're controlled by the bad habit. Not a good place to be in. But when you get to this stage, which we're talking about, the stage 3, what happens is that you control when you want to fap. You control when you want to play video game. It's almost like you control, you decide, you put an intention to whether or not you will do it, because it's not controlling you anymore. It's not a matter of fact about impulses anymore. When you have been meditating for so long and then you're like mindful and then conscious about your actions, you have the control, and chances are, if you have the control, you will most likely not do those bad habits. Because again, it's like when you get to a certain stage, you almost feel like you don't want to do it anymore. Like, it's kind of like a guy wanting to get rich so that he can buy all those girls, horse, I mean to say, buy all those Lamborghinis and houses and mansions, all those materialistic things. But through his journey of becoming that type of, wealthy person, rich, wealthy person, he learns values, characters, such a way that those materialistic, low vibration things don't excite him anymore. not as much as purpose and fulfillment does. And so, this is like stage 3. It takes time to get there, but that is essentially the idea, because you don't want to be controlled by your bad habits. You want to control your habits, because at that point it's not like bad because you don't do it anymore. You became the person who don't do it, and of course you could still slip back because of your identity change. Suddenly maybe you spend time with your, you know, old friends and all of that. So it can like change a lot depending on the people you spend time with, and especially if you're also like consuming contents of content creators who makes video for, especially like, you know, video gamer losers and all of that shit, trying, even if it's just like a self-improvement video on how to, you know, like some kind of like basic level where the target audience is the type of person who jerks off every single day, and you know the YouTuber is telling that, oh yeah, if you're watching this video you just watch porn then this ago, and then you know, if you're watching this, I know you scroll through Instagram every day, I know you jerk off every day. But when you get to the next level of self improvement and you don't do that anymore like you used to some months ago, but you're still watching the same type of videos that is supposed to target the audience, the type of person you were, then you can't help but, again, it's like the concept of the are the average of the 5% you spend time with. So you gotta be kind of careful with this, unless you have a very good level of willpower. In this case, you're gonna have to figure out a way to consume contents wisely, where the target audience is not, you know, some fucking losers, because you became better than that. Because even if it's like harsh reality, you still can't afford to get back to your old identity, and you could do that, or maybe find you know, there can still be some contents meant for that same thing that might benefit you, but still is not mentioning much about what you do every day as a loser. So because you're not a reality, in reality a loser, maybe you don't jerk off, but a, you know, YouTuber keeps telling that you jerk off, it's like it affects you. Suddenly you're thinking, oh yeah, I'm still the person who jerks off, but you're not. You have improved a lot. And that is something to be proud of. It's time to, you know, kind of like change yourself, the contents you consume, or maybe even, you know, find an alternative what might work for you. Sometimes quitting bad habits is a choice, or of whether or not you want to remain as a child or grow up to become the man that you want to become, that you are capable of becoming. You always have a choice. The fact that, you know, I came here and I'm doing live stream instead of just, you know, going to bed, you know, sleeping, and then, you know, enjoying with my family. Okay, my family slept. Okay, maybe not enjoying with my family because I already did that a couple of hours ago. But like, instead of just, you know, jerking off, instead of just spending time on social media scrolling through all of that like most of my friends do, harshly reality, but yeah, instead of that, just by me coming here and making a live stream teaching you guys about whether or not you should quit bad habits and what it takes to do so, it's like that is a choice of becoming more of a man that I'm capable of becoming, instead of remaining as a child who always leans onto the impulses for cheap pleasures because he don't get a purposeful life to live. It's a choice towards the man that I want to become, even if it's just a small choice, even if it's like the slightest small step. I still take this step, one step at a time, always. You know what I'm saying? So kind of sleepy now. I'm gonna go to bed and then track my sleep tomorrow again, which is what you should do too. And yeah, we're done. We're done with the first experiment, first day of the experiment The second day we're gonna do the same thing, sleep around the same timing, and then record our sleep timing. That's what we're gonna do. And this week it's gonna be a very mentally exhausting and physically exhausting week. So you gotta get ready for that. I'm gonna give you a very kind of like a task to do tomorrow, which I think will really give you an awareness of your life, really in a very, very insightful way. So just bear with me. Tomorrow we're gonna do that because I'm gonna do that together with you. So improve your life, as I said again, one step at a time, always.